watching.
Property guru George Markoski from Positive Property Solution joins us now. George, good morning to you.
How are you, George?
Our goal, our unstoppable mission is to empower 10,000 Australians to create financial freedom through investing in property using the Markoski method. Okay guys, we've got 10 seconds left. Can't wait to show you a great, amazing session tonight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, good evening, everybody. How's it going?
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome to tonight's session. I'm your host, Christina Markoski, and we've got the lovely Belinda Flaherty here. And I'm sorry we're so small. I tried to figure out and get us bigger, but it just hasn't happened for some reason. So we're going to be a mini version.
We've got mini versions, but we've got such big personalities. We can be in smaller boxes.
We'll
Doesn't
fill up
matter.
the screen regardless.
Exactly. We fill it up. Absolutely.
100%. So we're here to talk about our session tonight. Robert Kiyosaki.
Fantastic.
So the event has been postponed because George is still on the mend. So I thought I'd just start with a quick update, first of all, about George and his health, because everyone may have seen that George was in hospital emergency the other day. Just to let you know, he's now home, safe and sound, and he's resting up. He's basically just got to lay down and be still. It's pretty simple. He's got some bulging discs in his neck. I know, right? That's the biggest challenge for him of all.
You need a straitjacket for him, and you need to tie him down.
I'm going to have to invest in one, honestly, because we need to invest in a straitjacket there for him to keep him still so he can heal his neck, and then he'll be back before you know it. And what are we going to do in the meantime? We're going to be here running the show, basically. So
absolutely.
If anyone's watching the replay tonight, just type in #replay. Let us know. If you're watching this live, type in #live. Say hello.
Hello, freedom fighters. Freedom fighters. Welcome.
Freedom fighters, welcome to the show tonight. So we've got an event coming up with Robert Kiyosaki, which is really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
That's going to be like a one-day workshop. Is that correct? Let's fill in the viewers.
It will, absolutely. So it's going to be online at this stage due to Corona, but it's still going to be a live event. So everyone's going to be coming in live. We'll be doing it live, and it's going to be just as good, honestly. We're going to have an amazing setup. We're going to have a big film crew here helping us with everything. So it's going to be really cool.
Let's go back a bit, because, look, there's possibly some young little investors out there, some of our young kind of members who might not even know who Robert Kiyosaki is. So let's get started, because, look, sometimes I forget when I say, hey, have you heard of Robert Kiyosaki? They go, no, who's that? So let's fill it in. So Robert Kiyosaki, if there's people out there that don't know who he is, like, he's an American businessman and he's an author, and he wrote one of the most famous property investing books in the world called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. That's right. And let's just give a little bit of a synopsis. I've read the book. Do you want to give a little bit of...
It's about having a new school thought when it comes to making money and getting your money working for you. And
Absolutely.
You really want to be taking the money that you're earning and investing that into vehicles that can give you a passive income, such as property. So long term, you can retire and you'll have these assets that are just keep producing your passive income for the rest of your life.
And the reason
about that is your income keeps going up as well with that passive income.
Correct. And the reason why he called Rich Dad, Poor Dad was because he had like two kind of role models. He had his real dad, and then he had a role model. And it was talking about the mindset between having a rich father and a poor father, and just the way he would actually look back and see these people. And, you know, it's really one of the best books out there. Obviously, we can't have a go at George's book. He's up there too. Freedom from Property.
However, best book out there for mindset.
Second best book. There you go, George.
No, they're on the same level.
So, guys, this book was I think I saw the stats, over 40 million copies of this book
Wow.
sold worldwide. And I believe that it was over 50 countries, different translation of that book. So we're talking, next level kind of author
That
here.
is
He's like,
amazing.
he's smashing out the records. And I think he's written something like another 27 books or 26 books since then.
Wow.
But
There you
this
go.
guy's, he's an ex-military dude. So he worked in the military. He worked as on a helicopter and in Vietnam. So if you get to meet this guy in person, I know that I had a chance to meet him and his wife. He likes to swear, but he's a lovely bloke,
He
and
swears like a sailor because he's an
he swears
ex-marine.
like military.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And I wonder why. But anyway, so guys, that's Robert Kiyosaki, and we're doing, obviously George is going to have him on to do a workshop. So we're very excited. Anyone that knows the whole Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, we're all jumping out of our skin at the moment because we really want to get this up and running, not just personally because I want to, but also for our members and our community.
That's right. It's going to be amazing to actually hear from Robert Kiyosaki himself. And the whole premise of the book, like you said, Belinda, was he had a rich dad and a poor dad. And so the poor dad was his real dad, and his poor dad worked in a 9 to 5 job as an employee and wanted to have a mortgage, the one house, and spent every cent paying off that mortgage. Old school mentality, right?
Not going out for dinner, not enjoying life, just paying off everything.
Just
Absolutely.
hustling, working long, grueling hours, no fun, every cent going towards the mortgage. Does this sound familiar? Comment in the chat below if this sounds familiar. Maybe
We've
it's
had
the life you're living at the moment, or maybe it's, your own parents or someone you know is currently living life this way, right?
Yep. Can I just say we've had a few comments. Someone wrote, he swears like Gordon, and I'm thinking Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yes.
thinking the same thing. It must be.
And then cash flow quadrant wasn't too shabby either. Yeah, so the cash flow quadrant, really amazing.
Yeah.
Someone's written when's the workshop. I love Rick Kiyosaki. We'll just stay tuned, guys, because
Stay tuned on the update once George is all recovered from his
once George is recovered, yeah, exactly. We'll definitely have dates, guys, and you're all invited because this is
100%.
going to be huge, huge.
My
Excellent.
parents used to live that way. Yeah, look, hey, most people do, unfortunately, and it's a really old school, close minded mentality thinking that you have to pay off your mortgage over 25 to 30 years and you just work hard, pay your taxes, go to work every day, and there's nothing better in life.
Yeah.
But we're here to tell you there is a better way, right?
There is.
It's called the smart way of living and the smart way of investing. And it goes back to the cash flow quadrant really is a good place to start. So I'm going to try and share my screen now and see if I can share this with everyone.
Yes.
Let me
Oh,
know
there we
if
go.
you can see
Beautiful.
here. This is the cash flow quadrant. So this is taken literally from a page of Robert Kiyosaki's book. And you can see here, this is where most people start off on the E quadrant here as an employee. Now that's where you're actually trading your time for dollars. So
Dollars for
you're
time,
trading
kids.
time.
Dollars for time.
That's right. And you don't want to be doing that because you can only get paid usually a certain amount per hour as an employee. So you're just working and getting the same money, paying the same tax, no matter what you do. You're never really going to get ahead in life doing that.
Correct.
So what you want to do is you want to move through these quadrants and you want to move down into self-employed. So you're still trading your time for dollars here, but at least if you're self-employed, the amount of work you do actively determines your income. So now you can, work extra hours and you can earn more money as self-employed because it's very self-motivated, self-driven.
Yes.
But then where you want to move into is a business owner. So you move into a business owner, it's where you're owning a business and you've actually got your employees now that are going out and trading the dollars for time and earning that money to produce more income for yourself. But then you want to take that money as a business owner, or if you're an employee or self-employed, all three really, you want to take that money that you're actively working and earning and put it into this quadrant here, which is the investor.
Ah, We like the investor. Happy days.
That's where you want to put your money, in the investor quadrant, because that is where it needs to go and that's where it belongs. So having it there means that now you're getting your money to equal more money, and it has little money babies. And it starts producing, and
It has mini money babies.
minis. Minis. So the money is producing more money, and it has a real compounding effect. And this is what I love about property investing. It is one of the safest ways to produce a passive income in Australia. It's just amazing. And if you're
Absolutely.
using our strategy with the Markoski method, you're just that next level, investing in the top 100 suburbs. It's absolutely amazing. There's nothing better. I haven't seen anything like it ever, where you can take your money and get such a good return passively. So making sure that you're taking that money and putting it into vehicles like investment properties that are going to produce you more money long term, being in that investor quadrant, that is the only way you can really get ahead. And that is Robert Kiyosaki's philosophy. Money babies. I just had a comment saying, money
Yes.
babies. That's right. We all need to be making these money babies, because ultimately, you've only got so much time, right? Until you retire. And then what do? Live off the pension? Live off your super? Is that going to be enough?
Sell the family home that you've spent your whole life trying to pay off.
Exactly.
It just
What are your
seems
options?
ridiculous.
Yeah, do what the poor dad does. Have the one house where you put every cent towards a mortgage, and then what are you left with? Your super.
That's right.
Is that going to be
Absolutely.
enough? So that's the
That was great.
cash flow quadrant.
Thank you for sharing that. That's good. We like the quadrant. The
We
quadrant
like
is good.
And we like the money babies.
We like money babies. Who wrote that? Whoever said that, that's hilarious.
I said that.
Yes,
And
you
someone
said
else
that.
said it as well.
Okay. All right. Cool stuff. So, okay. So let's get into this. So, what are we going to do tonight? Because obviously George is not around,
Yes.
and we're filling in for Georgie because he's
So
not
the
100%
whole
at the
idea of
moment.
tonight is to give you guys an opportunity to get your questions to us so that we can get them to Robert Kiyosaki and get them answered for you in the session that we're doing with him. So now's a good
Absolutely.
time. Take advantage. Put your questions in the chat and we'll take them to the big man himself.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there was a couple of the questions that came through, not so much here, but before we actually posted. And I wonder if I can bring them up. Just trying to see them. So excuse me, guys, if I look distracted, but I'm just trying to find where they're at or where they could possibly be.
And what I love about the main points in Robert's book is he talks about your family home not actually being an asset, which is a bit controversial, because if we're looking at our assets and liabilities, you'll have your good debt and bad debt. And Robert refers to your family home as actually a liability.
Yes.
And the reason he's coining it that term is because it's the hardest property you'll ever have to pay off in your life. You're not going to get
Correct.
any help from anyone else. You're going to have to pay it off all by yourself. You're getting no help from any tenants paying rent. You're getting no help from the tax man. So that's why it really is more of a liability than an asset. Now, the only time I would see it as an asset is if you were leveraging it and taking out the equity to get more properties. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Obviously, I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm just talking from my own experience, what I do personally with my properties. And the only way I could see that family home becoming less of a liability is if you actually turned it into an asset that's going out there and creating you more passive income.
Yeah, for sure. And do you know what I think we should do? We should read out some of the questions because, we can, the great thing is we can turn this into a podcast and we can also get these questions written up as well as we go along.
Yes,
Question
totally.
1, Hat, what's the most challenging situation in your investment journey and how did you overcome it? Now, that's a good one. I like
That's
that.
a great one. Yeah, absolutely.
can you also share some of your insights on investment failures and what have you learned from them as well? And funny enough, guys, I think it was last week, we did a bit of a chat with some of our members, and we were all talking about previous experience before they joined Positive Property. And it was really good to to understand people's failures before they're actually, getting into success, because it's great to get that insight. 100%. Okay, another question. Is the future digital? Will NFTs become the next craze? Not sure what that means. If anyone wants to. Non-fungible.
That's probably more of a subject for a different night. We won't get into that too much.
Is that like a bit like Bitcoin? A bit like.
Yes and no, Belinda. It is. It can be sort of seen similar to that. It's a unique digital, almost piece of artwork. That's the best way I could describe it. And because there's only one of a kind, there's a lot of scarcity, so they do go up in value. So going back to the Robert Kiyosaki, get your questions in for him, what you want to ask him. Belinda, when did you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, out of curiosity?
Wow, years ago. The funny thing is I read it and I love the whole concept of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad and that thing. But it took me a while for that whole quadrant to really, because my mind was so set into starting a business and, being an entrepreneur and, doing all the things that you do get caught up in life, universe and everything. So the thing is, it wasn't until later on that I picked it up again and it actually really started to resonate. I probably needed to do, 5-6 years of running my own business and sweat and tears before I actually went, hey, this is too hard, Basker. I want to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Absolutely. So what about you? When did you first read it?
Yeah, I actually read it when I was 19. So I picked it up and it was just light bulb moments going off reading that book. I was like, wow, this has opened my mind to a whole new way of working smarter and not harder. Because I always knew that there had to be a smarter way than just, you go to work, you earn your income, you pay your bills, you pay your tax, and that's it. And I'm looking and I'm going, okay, well, there's obviously wealthy people out there who know how to win at life and how to be successful at doing these sorts of things. So it was a real aha moment for me when I heard, especially, how he calls the family home a liability. That was a real mindset shift for me personally. A lot of light bulbs went off. But also what I really love is the fact that he says, so employees pay the highest percentage of taxes, big business and investors pay the least.
Yes.
That was a light bulb moment for me too.
Whoa.
And I was like, okay. And he talks a lot about, okay, so you're working hard and then the government comes in and takes all this tax, and then what have you got left over after you've done your super, paid your bills, paid your mortgage, whatever? What's there left over really at the end of the day?
Yes.
So that was a big light bulb moment. So really, really fascinating to understand that. And it was funny, after I read it, I was really excited and I was like telling my family, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It makes so much sense. You should read this. My family were just like, nope, not interested. So I got shut down, but that's understandable. I think when people are ready, their mind will be open and they will learn. But until they're ready, they're going to be closed-minded to it.
Correct. Absolutely.
Someone said, I'm sick of working. Time to start investing, my friend.
We can see all these questions are coming in thick and fast. I'll read a few because it might spark you to think of some questions. But what is the one thing I can do in my financial life that has the greatest potential to make everything else easier or unnecessary? That's interesting. Question for Robert. Right now, what is the smartest and quickest way to achieve consistent passive income? That's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Where do you struggle when it comes to business, or when it comes to finances, business, or investing? So there's 3 levels there. How do you decide whether to hold or sell an investment? Is
That's a
it a
great.
matter of when the tax incentives, such as the depreciation, runs out?
Yeah, that's
And
a
then
great.
obviously someone wrote, I'm sick of working, which, hey, oh, fantastic. But hey, there's some really good questions there, guys. So we're going to be able to get a copy of all these questions after with this, Christina.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone would like some more information around how we can help you obviously create a passive income through property, just put hashtag rich dad. That'll be our hashtag for tonight. And
Hashtag
someone from
hashtag rich dad, guys. So why is it important to find a financial mentor? How do you find a financial mentor that's right for you? Hey, that's a good one.
yeah, money babies. Woo! Love that. So another thing Robert is really big on is having the right team. So surrounding yourself with the right people to get you to your goals. And I think that's so important as well. You know, as one person, you can only go so far in your life, but you need a circle of safety to really help you get to the next level. And there's so many different experts you need in that circle of safety. So you need a mortgage manager, you need a lawyer, you need a
Property
financial
manager.
advisor, property manager. That's right.
Yeah,
Building
absolutely.
inspector.
And the funny thing is, people don't realize that you need all these professionals. You need them all. You're not going to be able to succeed. And I think it's really funny being a coach and talking to people. You hear those horror stories where people don't pay rent or their house gets trashed, but you got to look at the backstory. Usually, it's because people have tried to manage themselves just to save a quick buck.
Mm,
And that
yeah,
means they haven't done the right research on finding the right tenant and done the right background checks. And that's why it's really important to get a professional, and I suppose
having the
people,
right team makes a massive difference to your success long term.
doesn't it?
And it's about
Absolutely.
thinking who, not how. And instead of trying to do it all yourself, get the experts, pay the experts.
Correct.
That's what they're there for.
You
You
know,
don't need to be good at everything.
and people go, how do you manage 6 properties? I go, I don't. Someone else does for me.
Why
It's
would
all about
you?
delegation. Why would you? I mean, could you
Crazy.
imagine I had to run 6 properties? I wouldn't have a life. I wouldn't be able to do my job, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Crazy, 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 crazy.
Stay in your lane and focus on what you do best. And everyone's got areas that they excel in, and you're better off sticking to your strengths and let the property manager worry about the property management. You know,
Exactly.
let the building inspector do the building inspection.
And yeah, absolutely. Someone wrote, I want a town of money babies.
Love it. Sotia, awesome.
That's it.
Fantastic.
You're hilarious. Awesome stuff. So yeah, we're getting a lot of great questions coming through. They're coming in thick and fast. So we're going to be keeping Robert Kiyosaki on his toes when we do this
He's
workshop, that's for
going to be
sure.
very busy.
What
Definitely.
kind of question would you ask him?
Oh, what would I ask Robert? Well, because I met him at an event 2 years ago in Melbourne, we had a really good chat just about, your friendship circles do change when you're investing in property. And he was telling me his struggles with, personal friends and family who were really negative towards him. So it was really interesting to hear it from him that he might be going through something similar to what a lot of investors or people who are doing things that are a little bit outside the box to the norm might experience. So it's sometimes, you feel like you can't share what you're doing, even though you're doing all this amazing stuff with the people closest to you, because they're just not on the same path and the same journey as you. So talking to them about what you're doing cannot exactly get the most positive response. So it was really fascinating to hear from Robert that. And we just had a really good chat about that and how sometimes, families just don't get it. And that's okay. Everyone's on their own journey in life. And it's about surrounding yourself with the people who do get it and the positive people that are going to help you do what you need to do and, create more of a passive income in your life.
Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. I mean, I think that if I asked him a question, I'd be more along the lines of, well, I know that when I was speaking to him and his wife, because obviously we were at that same function, I mean, I think they've got I think more than 200 properties. So they've got a lot of passive income. So I'd love to know what was their favourite holiday they went on in the world.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to know, what was their favourite holiday, why? Have they gone back to the same country twice? Because I always have a feeling, because I'm a traveler, and I always say you never go back to the same country because there's so many countries. You've got to
Yeah.
try something different every time. So I'd be curious to see if they've got a favorite kind of place, because I'm no doubt they go on lots of holidays because they've got plenty of passive income. That's for sure.
Definitely, definitely.
So I'd like to know about their passive income time, their fun time. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, absolutely. So we've got a few more questions coming through, and I mean we've had a few that have actually gone through, so they've gone off my screen at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't access them anymore either.
Yeah.
So
Well,
just comment
anyway,
again. Keep them coming. Do a
keep
round
them
robin.
coming.
It goes down, then
We're
you bring
doing
it back up to the top.
absolutely. So look, I mean, guys, the one thing about Robert Kiyosaki, I mean, there was a little bit of controversy at one stage
It was
regarding.
very
Sorry,
controversial.
very controversial. Sorry, it's been a
What was
long day.
controversial, Belinda?
They were actually saying that with his book, he was actually being. It was a bit negative, saying that he was actually trying to create. It was a book on how to get rich quick scheme,
Oh, wow.
and he went against it and said, absolutely not. You
No.
don't get it at all, and it wasn't. And he's actually stood up for that and said, absolutely not. You've got to work for it. You've got to play it smarter, not harder. And
Yeah.
by playing it smarter, not harder, you've got to educate yourself, and you've got to really set yourself up and get your right goals and do everything. Oh, someone's written, I'm correlating all the questions. Thank you. That must be,
Thank you. Amazing. Collating all the questions. Beautiful.
yay. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep.
And I think it is just a big mindset shift, really, at the end of the day. So if you're looking to make a positive change in your life, maybe you're currently doing the old school, working the 9 to 5, thinking, hey, maybe there's something more to life out there. Just start with the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then move on to Freedom Through Property by George Markoski.
Yes.
Start with
That's
those
it.
two books. It's about getting educated. It
Yep.
really is. That's where everything starts, with the ideas and the getting educated and understanding the fundamental basics of the asset and liability concept, but also the cash flow quadrant concept. There's so many amazing concepts in those two books. If you start with those two books, that is the best place ever for
Absolutely.
a proper financial education
You know,
and to get ahead in life.
And funny enough, I've been talking to some new members today who signed up, and I've been talking to some of our members. And I always say that we can sit here and talk about property until the cows come home and passive income, but your first best investment is actually in yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
And I was talking to this new member, and they were saying, and I said, look, by signing up, I mean, you're great. This is your first part of your journey. And his biggest thing he said to me was, Belinda, I'm just time poor. So
We have a
it
lot
is
of
some.
business owners who are really time poor as well. And they might be earning, big dollars, but at the end of the day, what time have they got to show for it?
That's exactly right.
No
Absolutely.
lifestyle there. And you really do need to stop trading your time for dollars. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, correct.
There's only so long
Absolutely.
you can do that for before you burn out.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, dollars for time. You got to, it's what it's all about,
Getting into
trading
that
that.
investor quadrant, you need to get in there as soon as you can. The sooner you do it, the better. And some of you out there might be thinking, oh, I've left my run too late. Look, the best time to buy a property was 20 years ago. When's the next best time, Belinda?
Mm.
Hello, right now. Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But look, I mean, property's been really tough at the moment, The market's going nuts and people are willing to spend way over normal asking prices, without, doing their research and things like that. We had another question. In the lifetime of investment property, which phase do you think is the most vital, and what steps should you take as an investor to prepare for it? That's a good one
Oh,
too.
that's amazing. I'd actually love to personally get one of our property strategists to reach out to you and have a one-on-one chat. So if you just want to comment, hashtag
He's
rich
one of our
dad.
members. He's one
Yeah.
of our members.
Oh, if you're already a member, then book in with your coach
Okay,
to discuss that
that's
further.
that's one of the questions for Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, beautiful. Yep. Yep. We'll definitely
So
ask Robert that.
that was a
I'm
good
getting
one.
confused now whether these questions are for us or for Robert. I've got to.
Uh,
I'm just
they're
so
all they're
tempted
all
to
for
go in
Robert
there and
now.
talk
We're
to them.
just the middleman at the moment. It's all for Robert.
We're just the middlemen. Strong desire, unwavering action and focus, massive courage, and finding the right people to help you. Sotia. Yes, love that. Fantastic. That's what it's about. And getting the right team is so important. It really is. It
Yep,
makes all the difference. Having the right team,
absolutely.
the right circle of safety. And Robert's
Yep.
really big on that too, getting the right people around you who are better at you in certain areas. That's
Yeah,
just
of
going to
course.
really take your investing to the next level and help you get in that investor quadrant.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, why do we have a circle of safety? They're all professionals in their field,
Totally.
and we've just been very fortunate that we've got an amazing community of these, professionals around us that we can kind of work through and help with our members
Mm.
100%.
Did you have to be tight on money to get started? Yeah, absolutely. You got to start somewhere. And look, saving a deposit is not easy at all. So you have
Correct.
to save that deposit and, get it together. So do whatever it takes. Don't just say, oh, properties are too expensive. I'll never get into the market. That's a defeatist attitude. You'll never get anywhere with that sort of an attitude. And
Absolutely.
I see
And
it's funny, and Belinda mentioning that, I see the comments like on Facebook sometimes like, oh, you must have had rich parents or blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I wish. There was no silver spoon going on at all for me.
no, not at
Really.
all. But just going back to that question, how tight do you have to be with your money to get started? One of the beautiful things with our program is, I believe we talk about it in the 14-day masterclass challenge, is there is lots of different ways. I think there's nearly 7 different ways that you
Yeah,
can get your foot in the door with property with
totally.
zero deposit.
Yep.
Okay,
And that's a
there is
game
some.
changer.
And that's a game changer. So Wayne, who asked that question, there is ways to get involved. And I've seen members, we've actually had members that have started on this program with zero deposit.
Mm, yeah,
So realistically, Wayne, what we've got to do is get you educated and go through all those different 7 ways. And you need to pick out what resonates with you so you can get your foot in the door. Because once you get your foot in the door with property, you're in. And as long as you get the right education to manage that for the future, that could lead to multiple properties later on down the track as well.
definitely.
So absolutely. No, don't just get tight with your money, get educated.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Another question. Now, you can't bring these up, can you? Can you see them on? Because I can
No,
see them on the
it's a
slide.
different setup to what I'm used to. I don't know why. It's just
All right,
not.
next question. This is just a Facebook user. I don't know who it is, but you can go directly from employee to investor. It's not easy being self-employed or business owners as long as you make the shift.
Nothing worthwhile in life is really easy, right? So
That-
that's the way it
exactly.
is. So yeah, if you want to, have a passive income, if you want to get ahead in life, you got to do whatever it takes, work hard, save up that deposit, get into the market, start your own business, take that leap of faith, do what you need to do. You only get one life. So you can
Make the most out of it. Do everything you
exactly,
can. Don't live in regret. Don't be a
exactly.
gunner. I'm going to do this and going to do that. You've just got to get your piece out of life. You've got to get a piece of the pie. You've got to bite into that apple. You've got to make it happen, guys. Absolutely. Because sitting on the sideline and being a wallflower ain't going to get you anywhere.
That's exactly right. You
So,
won't
very
get anything out
important.
of life if you're a wallflower.
Absolutely. It's
Love your analogies, Belinda. You're hilarious.
absolutely action. Someone wrote action. We got to take action.
Action
Yes.
women here tonight.
Yes, we've got the action ladies.
Action women.
Absolutely. That's right. 100%. So, yeah, action is what it is, guys. You've got to get out there. You've got to do it. This is the difference between, successful and unsuccessful people. Successful people are willing to go out there and, believe it or not, maybe fail, because your failures lead to your level of learning and your level of development. So you've got to really get out there and get out there and get into life.
Definitely.
So very important. Action speaks louder than words,
I guess
ladies and
that's the
gentlemen.
difference between rich dad and poor dad. So the biggest distinguishing markers really are, rich dad was able to get out of his comfort zone and do things that allowed him to create a passive income, whereas poor dad was stuck in his old ways and closed minded and was just too scared to get outside of the box and do
Correct.
anything that would actually help him long term. So he stayed in that box, and as a result, he stayed poor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's kind of that old mindset, old school mindset,
Old set mentality,
old
yeah.
set mentality. It really is, you know,
Old
um,
school.
very old school. Guys, you've got to get it, the game's changed. And
It really
you've got
has.
to get yourself out there and educate yourself and understand how the rules have changed and how you can apply it to your own journey and future and success. 100%. Because if you don't do it, time goes by. Because, like, seriously, I've met people that who said to me, Belinda, I really, really want to get involved in property, love what you guys do. I met them at the home show, and then 3-4 years later they've kind of come knocking around again, and they're like, oh, Belinda, I wish we did it when we did. I said, well, of course, but it's very
Hindsight's a
easy to.
beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful
Don't
thing.
be looking back and going, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Exactly right. Absolutely. And look, I'm hoping that with this whole Robert Kiyosaki, I mean, that's going to really get people who, I even hopefully tonight after, watching this live, you go out and read that book, you know.
Absolutely. That is the best place to
Because
start. So
look, honestly, I think Jim Rohn, who was one of my favorite motivators, he was the one that actually kind of trained up Tony Robbins back in the day. So he actually said, how many people would have a book, and let's say you're multimillionaire, and you walked up to that multimillionaire and you said, hey, what made you multimillionaire? And you said, well, actually, I read this book and it changed my life. Do you know, probably only 5 to 10%, or even 5% of people would actually go out and read that book.
wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
But then so for instance, tonight, guys, if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's on audio. Read it. If you're into
No
if you
excuses.
no excuses. You can go and sit there and clean your house and put it on audio. You
Don't
don't even
tell
need
me
to
you
read
don't
it.
have the time. You don't have time not to.
Exactly. And while you're there, read George's as well.
Absolutely. Put it
Do
on
a
a playlist. Go
double
Rich Dad Poor
whammy.
Dad, then Freedom Through Property. Make those books your priority. Look, they're quick, easy reads. Honestly, I remember reading Rich Dad Poor Dad in like 2 days because I was that addicted. I like could not put it down.
Look at a cover book. Yeah,
Yeah.
cover to cover. Absolutely. We just had someone say, we're all here in this group for a reason. Something led us to be here. Do something about it. No regrets. Beautiful. Love
Awesome.
that.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Nico.
Someone said, Jim, I liked him. I love him. I love Jim. I loved him too. Jim Rome, God bless his soul. Um, Great guy. Came up with some amazing, amazing motivational ideas and, words of wisdom. He's fantastic. So
Awesome.
get out there, guys, read the book. Because you know what? If you're really, if you're pumped, if you enjoy what we're doing, Robert Kiyosaki is going to come into our mix, and it'd be really good that you knew the background behind him and read
Definitely.
his book with the 4 quadrants and really understand the rich dad, poor dad mentality. Because I know personally, maybe in the early days, maybe I was a little bit of that poor dad,
Mm,
skimp and save and,
yeah.
try. But then I realized, I've got to
You've got to
change my
work
mindset.
smarter, not just harder.
Correct.
So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And Heidi just said, great read and changes your mindset.
Change your life.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And I think last week we actually did a whole live on mindset with lovely Charmaine.
Beautiful.
And it really is. You change your mindset, you change your life,
That's exactly right. Change your mindset, change your life. Beautiful. Well, guys,
Absolutely.
don't forget to comment hashtag live if you're watching this live or
Sorry.
hashtag
Someone,
replay.
sorry, I'm laughing. Sorry, I
George
got
is the
distracted.
Aussie Kiyosaki.
Yes, George is the Aussie Kiyosaki.
Love it.
He just does.
And
He's not going to
keep
be
going with your
swearing.
comments for Robert because our team will still go check this even after the live is all done and dusted. And we'll get those questions organised for Robert.
They've just been saying they've been scribing all of them. All your questions have been scribed in, which is great, guys. Be a part of this exciting workshop. Let's ask all these great hard-hitting questions to the Robert Kiyosaki man himself.
Robert's basically almost retired now, so this could be one of the last times he actually does a property masterclass workshop.
Correct.
Wouldn't surprise me. He's getting to that stage now where he's refusing to do a lot of events. And luckily he agreed to do ours because he likes George.
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
So it could
Absolutely.
potentially be his last one that he does. So don't miss out on this opportunity.
Absolutely. There's an opportunity there, guys. The opportunity's there. It's knocking. Grab it with both hands. Open the door. This is your chance, guys.
Do a pantomime and open that door while you're at it. Love it. Oh, fantastic.
We're having fun here tonight, guys.
Definitely.
We might as well. I've had a big week and I've had a big day, and it's only Thursday, Friday tomorrow. Wow, unbelievable. The weeks go so quick. I don't know about you, but the weeks go so quick. So if you don't put those plans in and those goals, the week goes past and boom, you're on to the next week. So
you blink and your life is over. I know.
Correct. Oh, someone's just said, I hope George gets better from the group. Yeah, absolutely. We'll just give George a big shout out. We want you to get better. We're sending positive vibes and get well soon. And
guys, I'm going to be going on eBay and buying a straitjacket very soon if he doesn't lay still.
Just get time to the lounge. Just wrap him up. Time to the he can't leave. Yeah, he's not allowed to go anywhere.
Oh my God.
But so look, I think how should we go now? Have we got our?
We're going to have to leave very shortly and head on over for our private group, guys. Those who are part of our Black Belt Investor Group, we will see you soon. For
Black Belt.
Our session tonight. We're going to get to the next level with some Black Belt investing. Guys, it was so awesome to catch up with you tonight.
Really and what I was going to just say, thank you so much for your questions. It's really good that people are really thinking of these really, nitty-gritty questions that we can present to Robert himself. And I can't wait to hear the answers because now that I've seen all these questions, I want to know them too.
Definitely. Great.
So thank you for sharing, guys. And that's awesome.
Beautiful. Well, guys, we're going to sign off and head on over to our Black Belt investors. Everyone have an amazing night. just to recap, we did our session tonight on what you want to ask Robert Kiyosaki. So put your
The man himself, the
comments
man who wrote the book.
That's right, on Rich Dad Poor Dad. Put
Rich
them
Dad
in the
Poor Dad.
below.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank you for your contributions, guys. Thank you, freedom fighters. And we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same property channel.
That's
See you there.
right. See you guys. Bye-bye.